a storm can change its name in the middle of the ocean. The same swirling system that meteorologists call a hurricane on Monday can officially become a typhoon by Friday, without growing stronger or weaker, simply by drifting across an invisible line on the map. Both hurricanes and typhoons belong to the same family of weather, tropical cyclones. These are organized systems of clouds and thunderstorms that rotate above warm ocean water near the equator, drawing their energy from the heat stored in tropical and subtropical seas. Start with the hurricane. That name applies in the North Atlantic and the Northeast Pacific, which is why storms threatening Florida, the Caribbean, or the Gulf Coast always carry it. When winds in one of these systems reach 74 miles per hour, a hurricane is officially born. Now the typhoon. It lives in the Northwest Pacific, the stretch of ocean that batters Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan, and the coast of China. The threshold is identical, 74 miles per hour, and so is everything else about the storm's structure and behavior. That is the entire difference. A typhoon is not a stronger hurricane, and a hurricane is not an Atlantic typhoon with milder manners. They are one phenomenon wearing two regional labels, the way the same animal might carry different names in different languages. There is even a third label waiting in the wings. In the South Pacific and the Indian Ocean, the very same storm is simply called a cyclone, which means one weather phenomenon ends up answering to three different names depending on where it spins up. Every one of these storms follows the same career path. It begins as a cluster of thunderstorms over warm water, earns the title of tropical storm once winds hit 39 miles per hour, and graduates to hurricane or typhoon status at 74. Size varies enormously within both groups. Hurricane-force winds may reach only about 25 miles from the center of a small storm, while a large one can fling them out beyond 150 miles, with tropical storm-force winds stretching even farther than that. The damage tells the same story on both sides of the Pacific. Whether the news calls it a hurricane or a typhoon, the package is identical: torrential rain, flooding, power cuts, and winds strong enough to tear apart whatever stands in their way. This is why a storm really can switch names mid-journey. If a hurricane in the Northeast Pacific drifts west across the 180th meridian into typhoon territory, forecasters reclassify it on the spot: same clouds, same winds. New title. The split comes from history rather than science. Coastal cultures named these storms long before satellites revealed they were all one phenomenon, so each region kept the word its own languages had always used for the giant winds arriving from the sea. For anyone in the storm's path, the label changes nothing. The warm water fuel, the spinning structure, the rainfall, and the wind thresholds are all shared, so safety advice that applies to a Gulf Coast hurricane applies just as well to a typhoon bearing down on Manila. So the rule worth remembering is short. Location decides the name, wind speed decides the rank. Atlantic or Northeast Pacific means hurricane, Northwest Pacific means typhoon, and the South Pacific and Indian Ocean keep the family's original title of cyclone. Next time a headline announces a typhoon on one continent and a hurricane on another, you'll know they are siblings, or rather, the same storm seen from different shores. The atmosphere has only one design for its greatest storms. People just never agreed on what to call it.